Well, so Jenny has been doing some digging on one of the big cases or the big stories that isn't really out there much right now, is it? That's something that she said the other day. She was really surprised that this has not been picked up more.
Right. I'm a serial killer lover. Have always loved reading about them, watching Silence of the Lambs, even though it was fake. Just everything. And this story with Scotty Shelton that comes out of London, I have been digging deeper into it. And it is, oh my goodness, they just arrested him on state charges that were like having deer heads and then I think 500 grams or more of traffic of meth. But there is so much to it, and that what he knew for how long and the feds know, we're going to get into later. But this should be national news. This is insane.
While digging up the dirt, agents and deputies observed what appeared to be a human bone, the complaint said. Shelton advised law enforcement that an unknown male had brought Indian remains to his residence and buried them in the garage area. Well,
Because
ain't that
that's what always happens, some unknown male always comes to my house and buries Indian bones. I mean,
I mean, my gosh, we've got serial killers in Eastern Kentucky that are working for the police. I mean, you cannot make this up.
and did you
Where,
catch that they were doing a welfare check? The feds
yeah,
were, and it just makes me think that somebody that has a dungeon to somebody that
to
has a
that
dungeon
level.
upstairs. Uh, that's what, and he has pills and math. What was he
Mhm.
leading these women up there for? And they had knowledge. The feds had knowledge of this from an informant stating that he saw pictures of a young female in 2020. So it just doesn't make sense whatsoever. I think a lot of the news stations should be covering this. Maybe we're going to be the first ones to get a jump on it. But I'm just amazed. This is like out of a horror story. And that's the criminal complaint that was stating that on August 12th, that was when the DEA agents went for, I believe it's a welfare check, or they were doing a check on Scotty Shelton. And then attached to that is the affidavit, and that's what brought to get him arrested. That stood in place for the indictment, but the indictment would eventually come down the lines. And this
This,
affidavit, I just find it interesting, the whole issue of saying some unknown man brought an Indian bone and buried it in his yard.
do you want to read this or do you want me to?
It
We don't
just
have to read all of
it,
it.
all it discusses in the beginning is the agent's his training, and that
Qualify.
he'd been with the DEA for a certain number of years, and I believe he'd been with the Federal Bureau of Prisons prior to that, and that he's
Look,
empowered to conduct investigations.
look at number 2. Me and Jenny talked about this last night, I think. Look at number 2. I have been a special agent with the DEA for approximately 1 year. I attended DEA's basic agent trainee and academy in Quantico, Virginia. I'm currently assigned to the London resident office. Prior to the DEA, he worked with the federal prisons. But I want to point out something. This guy that's writing the affidavit, I don't know because I haven't read all of this yet or not, but it seems like he's picked up on something maybe that other people that had been there for years and years and years that was either letting it go purposefully, or they were so incompetent that weren't catching on to it. So we
caught on to that too. That I think that because he had training and he had worked for the Federal Bureau of Prisons prior to that for 8 or 9 years, and just for somebody that's got a year of experience with that agency to be able to write, and I believe it's 8 pages, it could be shorter or longer, of an affidavit, and he wrote it real fast because I believe it was signed on the 13th and this occurred on the 12th. So he had to be typing. He's saying it was a deer carcass, but what about all these animal bones as well they charged him with? A lot of people either start with animals or
yeah,
they incorporate animals into it, and he could have used
yeah,
the deer carcass to throw off the stench of dead human decay. That would
absolutely.
be a good excuse for it, because um you just everybody I don't think everybody knows the stench of death, but you know what a rotten animal on the side of the road smells like,
Oh yeah.
and that
Oh
can
yeah.
cover up a lot.
And it said that they had a picture of a woman in a jail cell
In
in his
2020,
in 2020. Why didn't they go out and investigate that? Why didn't they go to the house and try and investigate and make contact with him over that, as opposed to, oh, we're going to go talk to him about a drug investigation? Well, I think a woman being held in a freaking torture chamber in an underground or in a second story jail cell in a house, like, I just can't with Kentucky and our freaking law enforcement. I mean,
it's
this
not
ain't,
even state. This is federal law enforcement.
thank you. It ain't no wonder the feds ain't doing nothing. It ain't no wonder that the feds come in here and give Scott Blair 4.5 years and never charge him with a drug charge or a SMEX charge. One, he gets fraud.
Oh,
And
this guy must have been working for years. Like, I'm guessing deep cover Hell's Angel. I don't know, but he had to. He had enough where he had enough drugs and stuff that people did not
trust,
probably were like, there's no way that he could have been an informant. Look how much he's been moving and doing and wheeling and dealing.
yeah, that's
And the
what they
women
do.
and probably the men he's got up in the jail cell.
Oh yeah, that's what they do. They're doing worse than the ones they're telling on.
Yeah.
And the police don't have no respect for the ones who rat neither. They have zero respect for them. Trust me. But my kids are doing cross country and they are running every day and they're doing so good and they're inspiring me. So if you ever want to, like, go run 10 steps and then walk 20, we'll do it.
Did you see how bad the bugs ate me up when I came to get those boxes at your house like 2 weeks ago? Bugs
Bad.
love me. I'm not outdoorsy. I'm saving. I get to do some lipo for my fat transfers, for my expanders, the implants. So I've got to store up this fat. I have so many people saying that they'll donate, but I'm just storing it up like a bear. So, that's my excuse.
There you go. There you go. Okay, let me get back here. So the
Okay.
source of information stated that in approximately 2020, he or she received photographs from Shelton displaying a young female restrained inside of the jail cell, in which the source of information informed local authorities. So they informed local authorities in 2020 of this. Are you joking? At approximately 3 p.m., Jake Miller notified the Laurel County Sheriff's Office of the incident and requested a welfare check at Southern Oaks Road. Laurel County deputies responded to the address on Southern Oaks Road and attempted to conduct a welfare check. Deputies could smell the strong odor of something decaying. So, did they just get the call? I'm confused over
That
that.
confuses me. I mean, they're doing a welfare check, so are they?
4 years later,
Was he missed? I mean, a welfare check, it sounds like on him. Like, did he not show up for a meeting? But it says a consensual encounter up there, too. I mean, so
But
they were meeting
they're
to
talking
see
about
what was going on.
but they're talking about the photograph there. Look, they're talking about the picture.
Wasn't
the-
COVID going on in 2020? I didn't know that people were supposed to be that close into jail cells. Maybe they ignored it when the whole social distancing. They were like, well,
No, that's the cell in his house.
I know. I was just saying they just ignored it. They were using that.
That's awful, Jenny. That's absolutely awful. Do you know that woman, whoever that poor little old woman was that was up in that jail cell? Could you imagine? Like I'm like trying to play this out in my mind. Her up here in this tortured,
With
he's got her,
ropes, multiple firearms.
and this guy sends a picture of her to somebody and they say, oh my God, I need to contact the police. They contact the police and they
don't
just, and that poor woman, whoever she was.
How many other? I mean, you didn't just construct that jail cell for one individual.
No, this is.
She froze up again. Is anybody from London, Kentucky in here? Is this a big story down that way? Laurel County? I'm not seeing anybody. I'm sure there's some people from London, but London, I just recently, you must not spend much time on Ledger. I'm there once or twice a week. Christmas. So what does everybody think of this Scotty Shelton? I'm looking at the comments now. Somebody gifted a membership. Well, thank you.
Yay!
But, everybody's from Hazard. I was wondering if somebody was from London, if it was a big, like, huge deal down there. Is there so much going on with the mayor and that misguided the search warrant that really went to the wrong house? I mean, seems like
we haven't heard nothing. We haven't heard nothing about that.
I just happened across it on one of my feeds when I logged on to my browser the other day, and I was like, London, Kentucky? I was thinking maybe the UK.
SA Fackler observed a fresh pile of disturbed dirt beside the all-terrain vehicle parked in the garage that is attached to the white structure. Shelton said that they could dig up the dirt. So the agents observed what appeared to be a human bone.